You're about to watch the exclusive interview that I had with Krystal Randolph, the mother of the 13-year-old girl that we saw in this now viral video. During this interview, Krystal shares with us a little bit about what she knows about what took place, how she felt, and what she hopes to happen now that her story is getting out into the world. Be sure to watch this entire interview because it's really good and you don't want to miss it. Now, I will say there was a little hiccup in between the interview. At one point, we had it on TikTok and Krystal was live. However, she got some sort of infraction from TikTok and it kicked her off of the live stream. So in the beginning of the interview, you will see her on video. On the second part of the interview, you will only hear her voice because in order to continue the interview, I had to call her on Facebook. But either way, with the hiccups and all things given, it was an amazing interview. After you watch it, be sure to share this, save this, and let me know in the comments what you think about what has taken place. And now that you've heard the mother side, what you think should happen. Let's get into the interview. And how is your baby doing? Is she okay?
So in the sense of okay, I can't say yes. And I can't say yes because I mean she's a child, so of course they're gonna keep going with life, but I can tell it's affecting her. Um, the other night I was getting ready to drop her back off to her dad's house and she just kind of was spaced out. You know how you just kind of zone out a little bit? And I was like, hey, are you okay? And she was like, it's just a lot, Mom. It's a lot. A lot has happened. And I could just see the stress and the realization of everything that kind of happened weighing on her. Because, you know, at one point, you kind of the adrenaline. And, you know, that weekend she went to a friend's house and she went to a birthday party. So I think once she had a chance to kind of settle down and there was nothing else going on and she was at home, the reality of everything that happened just kind of settled in. And she was like, man, I went through that, you know? And we were just talking and she was like, Ma, you know, that was a lot to deal with. And that's, as an adult, I don't want to be in that situation. So I can only imagine, you know, and I don't want to, but I got to because I've seen it and I know what she went through. So as an adult, I can only imagine what a child feels like because as an adult, I'd be pissed. I'd be ready to fight. You know, you want justice. You want somebody to hear what you got to say. But she's a kid, you know? So I'm the person that she had to talk to. Her dad, her grandparents, her aunts, they're the people that she had to talk to. But as a child, she does not have that space to do what we as adults can do. She can advocate for herself on a certain level, but because I'm her mom, I'm the one that has to deal with the legal ramifications of everything. She can't do that.
Has she gone to school this week and was she okay with doing that?
She wanted to go to school the next day. She did. Because I asked her did she want to stay home, and she was just like she was going to school. She is very active at school, so it's I guess you know that kind of just takes her mind off of things. She does track. She's a cheerleader. She played volleyball. She does quite a bit at school. She's in the art club. You know, she just does a lot. So I think that too gave her some reprise from what happened. You know, but she did say coming home from school, she was like everybody was talking about it. It was so many people, Mama. So many people saw it, and again, I think once everything kind of just settled down, that's when the weight of everything that really happened to her just kind of hit her. Because even adults are like that, you know, the shock wears off after a while and you're just like, I really lived that. I really went through that. So yeah, I think she's doing okay as can be considered.
So, I mean, you told us a little bit about like her activities and how she's active at school. Can you just tell us a little bit just about her, the type of sister she is, maybe just like her personality? I imagine that she has to have a big one if she can play sports and run track and do all those things.
She's always had a big personality. And I would say She is probably the best big sister that I could ask for my baby. She asked for that little girl. She asked for that baby girl. She asked me for 5 years for a sister. Mama, can I have a sister? Can I have a sister? That was literally Christmas wish list. Can I have a sister, Mom? So that's why when they were like, people were saying she was bullying that child, I'm like, she got a 7-year-old little sister at home that she absolutely love. Of course, they're siblings, so they got that, they're gonna butt heads, and the 7-year-old thinks she is her 13-year-old sister's equal, in age. But she loves her little sister like they are best friends. And when you say best friends as siblings, they are best friends. She has a larger than life personality, always has since she was out the womb, big and loud. She is very silly, but she is also. I raised her because I saw that she was like me when I was a kid. She does not take bull from anybody. Um, but I do teach her to be respectful. They're mindful. Because I said I was raising emotionally intelligent children. I don't, and I'm always telling her, I'm not raising a mean girl. I'm not raising bullies. So if there's something that I need to correct, I'm gonna correct it. If I hear them say something out of line, I'm gonna correct it. So she is a sweet girl. She has never been a bully. Of course she's a girl, so they can be catty, but she's an amazing child. I'll just say that. I love my kids. They're kids. They drive you up a wall sometimes, but nobody can tell me that my kids aren't good kids. Nobody can tell me that.
So this is you and your baby. You don't have to share her name if you don't want to. We can just continue to refer to her as your daughter, whatever works for you. But this is you all. Where did you all take that picture?
So we were at home. She was getting ready to go to her homecoming dance for 7th grade. So that was homecoming last year, I believe. Yeah, last year, homecoming. We were headed to homecoming dance.
Okay, well that's a very very beautiful picture. So, for those of you that have not seen the video, I don't have my live studio set up. So just so that everybody can see it now, I'm gonna grab my computer and I am just going to angle my camera on the computer for those of you that have not seen it. So you all know. That I like to be cognizant of my guests' feelings. And so I did ask Miss Krystal if it was okay for me to play it while she was on the panel. She did express that it would be difficult for her to watch, but she wants for people to see what took place.
Yeah. Oh shit. She walking over here? Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Hi. Your child came over here saying he was gonna get a shotgun and shoot me in my face.
And that was after you told him to shut the fuck up?
No, whoa. He came over here cussing us out. He was cussing him out first.
Cussing how so?
Saying fuck, shut the fuck up. You need to watch your child. If you're gonna come over here and confront a child.
I'm sorry, where are your parents?
Honestly, I know my parents will. Don't worry. Don't worry about my parents.
And that is fine?
Don't worry about me. Your child came over here cussing other children out. How about you watch your child and watch your child's language? I don't care. I'm gonna be straightforward because you shouldn't be coming over here saying, so you're gonna be talking to my child any kind of way. Your child?
I'm sorry. I need to know your parents and I need to know the phone numbers so we can have a conversation because clearly you don't understand how. I'm sorry, how old are you? How old are you?
Over here cussing at us.
Okay,
your child
you also
threatened to get a shotgun and shoot me in my face.
Okay, you also know that my son is 8.
Okay, so you need to watch your child. Your child was in this park by himself. By himself, but still at the same time. He came over here messing with us. What point you do not understand that?
I'm sorry.
stress out for you? That I'm telling you what your child did and how he came over here cussing at us? Cussing at us?
He's in third grade. He is in third grade.
Stop keep saying.
Are you a
He
has ADHD.
Age does not matter.
No,
He knows how to say fuck. He knows how to say Jesus. He knows how to say he's gonna get a shotgun and shoot somebody in the face. He literally that shit can talk about. You're the reason why I double doors exist. Just because he's 8 and just because he's in third grade does not mean that he can go around talking to any other child any kind of way. What point do you not understand that? What in your head do you not understand that? So do not come and step into the. If you want my mother to come
I need you to shut your fucking mouth.
Who the fuck are you talking to, ma'am?
Girlfriend, back up.
Who the fuck are you talking
You want to bring it?
Who the fuck are you talking
You're 13. I'm 30 fucking 8.
Get the fuck out of my face. I swear to
Bitch,
fucking God.
you want to
I swear
try?
to fucking
Do
God.
not
I
touch
swear to
me.
fucking God.
Do not touch me.
You know what? Get the fuck off of me, ma'am.
Let me talk to
Ma'am?
your parents.
Get the fuck off of me.
Do I need to call
Ma'am,
your
guys, get the fuck off of me.
I didn't touch you. I did not touch you.
No, I record everything.
Yes, come on. Come on.
See?
Ma'am, yep, come on. Yep, you got that on video, right? Got that on video. Hey, mama, there is a woman over here who just put her hands on me and who just got in her face. Got in my face.
Every single person here knows you touched me first.
No, you came in my face, ma'am. Don't get in my face.
No, sweetie. No. That is 38.
This whole woman in this
I'm not gonna stop.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I never said that either.
Okay, your child came over here messing with us, cussing us out. Don't come in my face.
No.
Do not come in my face any kind of way.
That's actually really disrespectful, but at the same time.
I don't care. Y'all keep saying that. Y'all ladies does not come in my face any kind of way. What point you not understand that? She's no people how bad people is. Oh really? I don't give a fuck. Don't come in my fucking face. Don't come in my face.
Damn, Daddy.
Don't come in my face. I don't care what type of adult. Ooh.
Bro, I got everything on video, bro.
Oh my God, bro, you're so. Bro, I'm so fucking.
Bro.
That was so fucking. I don't care. And
You okay, Miss Krystal?
Yeah, there's still. I think this might be the third time I've seen that. If it pops up and it's playing on my timeline, I don't let it play because that's just, yeah, it's a lot.
And so that was kind of going to be the segue into my next question is with when you watched it for the first time and just watching it now, like, can you share with us a little bit about how that makes you feel? Because I kind of saw the moment when she got in your daughter's face and kind of, bumped her that you just had to, turn away from that. Like, what kind of feelings did it bring you?
And not be, so when she called me, she was screaming. And, kids. At first I thought she was at school playing. And then she was just being loud. And I was like, Ray, why you calling me with all this screaming? Go away. Where are you? And then all I heard was, Ma, this lady put her hands on me. And I said, what? I was cooking. I literally left everything. When she said put hands on me, I said, hey, shut up. Stop arguing with her. Because I could hear her in the background. I said, I got this. Stop arguing with her. And I was literally picking keys up, shoes on. I left my food on the counter because for her to say somebody put their hands on her and I'm not there, that enraged me. But to get there to the park and see the video and actually see what that woman did to my child, I don't have words for the amount of rage that I felt that day.
You saw the video at the park. They showed you the video.
When I got there, because by the time I got there, my baby was crying. Like, broke down in tears crying, and all I could do was just grab her. And I saw that, and they were like, we have a video. And I was like, where's the video? So somebody showed me the video, and at that point it was, which way did she go? Because that was the first thing out my mouth when I got up there after I grabbed my baby, was which way she went. Who was she? Do any of y'all know her? Who is this woman? I called the police. I got off the phone with her in a few seconds. And by the time I was walking out the door, I think I got out of my house in a minute and out the garage. It might have been less than that. I called them and I said, somebody just put their hands on my child. Y'all better make it there before I do. Because if I make it there, y'all going to be picking me up to arrest me. Y'all not going to be picking her up. Y'all going to be picking me up because I'm going to hurt her. And the dispatcher was like, okay, well, what happened? You know, what's going on? Where is she? And I said, listen, I just need y'all to make it there before I do. Make it there before I do. Because if I make it there and she's still there, it ain't going to be nice. But that, to feel that after I saw the video, I was enraged. And then it was like, I wasn't there to protect my child. So that hurt. Because somebody hurt my baby. Not only was it was an adult. It was two adults.
This is the part of the interview where Krystal gets removed from TikTok. I call her on Facebook and we continue the interview. But I think that you were talking about the police. You talked to 911. You had gotten there and you saw the video. So once you got there, you got off of the phone with dispatch. At what point did the police make contact with you? And tell us about that. But before you do that, one of the things that you said was that you was not there to protect her. But I think that it's important for us to clarify the fact that it wasn't like, you know, you sent her off on her own and that she wasn't where she was supposed to be. Are you able to share just kind of how they ended up at the park?
Just after school activities, track, and then sometimes she hangs out after school with her friends at the park, because there are several parks. There's a school park, there's a a tennis court, there's the track there. You know, parents come up there and run and walk. They bring their kids to play because it's inside of a neighborhood, and there's a city park attached to the school, and that's where they were. They were in the city park, like she's done since sixth grade, hanging out, you know, and being a kid. You know, that's just, I allow her that freedom to be able to hang out with her friends after school.
So it wasn't like she wasn't someplace that she wasn't supposed to be.
Supposed to be, correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I knew exactly where she was. Yeah.
And that's how you was able to get to her so quickly. So let's go back to that police piece. So how did they initially make the contact with you, and what was that interaction like with them?
So they called the school resource officer because I said the school track, because I thought she was still at the track, which is attached to the back of the school. But she was at the park that's attached to the school, which they still call the resource officer because it's so close to the school and the resource officer knows the kids. So the officer that called me, I do know him because my oldest three have all went to the school that my daughter goes to. That officer has always been there. He's an amazing officer. And when he called me, he said, Mr. Ash, meet me at the front. And I was like, well, who answering? And he was like, I don't want to say his name. I don't know if he wants his name said or not. But right. The officer, met me at the front. And I told him what happened. And I said, listen, y'all need to find this lady. I said, there's a video. So he went and picked my daughter up and brought her into the school because she was still outside. Because I walked off. She was still talking to her friends. And I said, hey, I'll be right back. Because I was waiting on the police and I thought they were going to try to meet me at the track instead of at the park. So I said, I'll be right back. So I walked over waiting on the police, and then the officer called me. And I walked into school. He went and picked her up, and he saw the video. So at that time, all the principals were answering. They were there. Well, two of them, they were there still because they were having, track practice and band. So there's always an officer and the principal's there if something's going on at the school. And they answered, and I told them what happened. And I told them, what Ray said. And I was like, that's my child. And they was like, that's Ray. And I was like, yeah, that's my child. She going to stand up for herself. But when they saw the video, when the officer saw the video, he was enraged. He was upset. He said, this don't make no sense. He said, this is crazy. And I told him, I said, Officer Varner, I said, and I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get you banned. But I did tell him, I was upset. And I was like, y'all need to find her before I do, because I'm going to come sit up here at this school every day after school till I find this woman. And he said, Miss Thrash, can you please give me the weekend? Give me the weekend. Let me find her. And I said, you find her before I do.
So.
Because that's just how upset I was.
Okay, so the officer was able to see the video during that time. Did they give you like an incident report, or did they give you any type of documentation?
No, they did not. No documentation, no anything. I put the video up that night because, one, I wanted to find that lady. And I wanted to find her immediately. I didn't know if she was going to be found as quickly as she was going to be found. And I put it up with the means and the thought process of sharing it to the Frisco and the Dallas groups, because I'm like, somebody got to know who this woman is. Somebody has to know who her and her little minion friend is that was there at that park, so that I can give it to the police. And I did not expect it to do what it's done. But I can say that as a mother, just to see the support, I mean, of course you have the people that are going to say what they're going to say, but overwhelmingly the support for my daughter and seeing her stand up for herself and people saying, oh, I want my daughter to stand up for themselves like that. I'm like, that made me feel good in the place of where I was feeling horrible, because as a mom, I was not there to protect my baby. Any of my babies, I don't care, from my oldest who is 17 down to my baby who is 7. They're going to always be my babies. And I'm sure every parent feel like that. No matter, they can be 70 years old, and if I'm still here, I'm still my babies. And I'm going to feel some kind of way if they're hurting and I can't help.
Right. Okay. Hey, moderators, just pause on the blocks, please, because I'm getting a couple people that y'all done gave the boot to message me, and I can't go unblock them. So if y'all watching for the FYP, sorry y'all, I'll go back and unblock you later, because my minds do not play. So was it over the weekend? Like, I'm not asking you to release anybody's name, right? Because we're not gonna do that, y'all. But it's safe to say that they ID'd at least one of the women. Did both of the women? Did they finally ID both of the women, or just the one woman?
They only went that I know of after the one that assaulted my child. So they did call me by that Friday afternoon. The officer had called me and said, we found her. And I said, what? That was quick. But I did find out, whereas originally they were going to arrest her. He wanted to arrest her. They could not, because the charges couldn't be escalated because it wasn't child assault. So it was physical assault. So they could not escalate the charges, which I still don't understand, because that man in Texas that put his hands on the other kids, he got arrested. So I don't understand how they couldn't arrest her. It eludes me. The detective did not tell me why. They said a prosecutor would call me, victim's advocate would call me. I still have not received a call, a case number, or anything.
So you haven't received a call from the prosecutor nor the victim's assistant?
No, none of them. I don't have a case number. I don't have anything. The detective did tell me, that they made contact with her and that they did charge her. So, that's my duty this week, is to keep calling to find out, hey, what's going on, until somebody answers me and lets me know, what's going on. I don't know when the court date is. I don't know anything. I just know that she has been charged.
So they said that she's been charged, and I couldn't remember now if you said, so you said nobody had contacted you. You didn't get any police report number, no incident number or nothing?
No, they didn't give me anything.
Okay, and I'm gonna be honest. I put in a public information request for myself within the Frisco Police Department. Because that's who responded. Well, that's who it's with, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, I did put in a PIR request through um the Frisco Police Department, and they have not responded to my public information request either. So I am going to follow up with that, and I'm also going to send a PRR request to the prosecutor. And it's because it's Collin County. We've had to deal with Collin County before. So I'm a little familiar with that county, even though I'm from Florida. So I'm going to do my due diligence to find out what um, is going on. How do you feel? How do you feel by not being contacted and nobody has reached out to you? Like, how does that make you feel as a parent?
It's frustrating because I mean for this to not be a slap on the wrist. She deserves to answer for what she did, because if you did it to my child, you feel like you have the right to do it to someone else's. I'm not walking up to nobody's child in a park and getting into it with them. My first question is, where are your parents? That's the first question I'm going to ask. And if the parent isn't there and we can't get them on the phone, then that's the end of the conversation. But it went beyond that to her physically putting her hands on my child and then crying at the end and lying and saying that she didn't touch my baby. So it's frustrating because it's like, hey, y'all have clear video evidence, which we're in America. We know there's been clear video evidence of plenty of things, and it still didn't go the right way. So that's my fear, is that she gets to walk away from this as if nothing happened. She deserves to answer for this, and I'm going to make sure she do.
And let me tell you, you got a whole bunch of people that's behind you to make sure that this does happen, and that they answer for this, and that they hold the correct individuals accountable. Now, do you feel like the shorter lady that was just like overly aggressive, like, you S the F up, how do you think that she helped to escalate the situation?
Absolutely.
And what are your thoughts about her and her behavior?
Her behavior was beyond irrational. Why are you turning around irate at my child, cussing at her for what? You weren't talking to the other kids like that. Why are you talking to my child like that? And they expected her to just sit there and take that. Now, the mom walked up to my child because she says that my child and the other kids were cussing at her child, but you get whoever this is, and it's okay for her to talk to my child like that. Can we make some sense out of this, please? Because there's none to be made.
Right.
There is no sense to be made out of what happened. And she escalated it for sure. I don't see how she wasn't charged with anything, because she definitely escalated it.
Right. Did the kids that was at the park, did they say where those women came from? Like the lady that just came and started the incident that walked over? Like,
they said she drove up in a car.
Wow, they said she drove up in a car?
Mm-hmm. Well, a SUV. She drove up in her SUV. And her son walked over, and he was saying whatever he said and looking at them. And then that's because at the beginning you heard them say, oh, she's coming over here. My daughter said we already knew she was coming over there because he had already been over there cussing at us and harassing us. She's like, Mom, he told me he's going to shoot me. Dude,
let me not.
The pew pew.
He was gonna pew pew me in face.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I'm the only person that he said that to. And I said, well, what happened? She said, we was like, little boy, and laughing at him. And we was like, something got to be wrong. So we just kind of left it alone. And he ran off.
Yeah. When I watched the video, a couple things stood out. The first thing was it was immediately, you said something to my son, or what did you say to my son? I think that as an adult, one would approach with a little bit more of wanting to get both sides of the story versus accusatory. I felt like she came in a very accusatory manner, and then when your daughter began to tell her what was going on, she started getting defensive. Like she says, like she tried to say, well, like, was he aggressive? He's only 8. He has ADHD.
Well, the aggression is him telling her, you can't get more aggressive than telling somebody you want to end their life.
Right.
So I don't understand the logic behind the questioning. You shouldn't have never been questioning them in the first place. Let's play this hypothetical that I would never do. If I walked up to a child and they told me that I'm going to correct my child, I'm not going to sit here and argue back and forth with some teenagers in the park with my 8-year-old. I have to referee at home with my 7-year-old and my 13-year-old. And the first thing I'm saying to my 13-year-old is, 1, she's 7. But then I'm telling my 7-year-old, she's 13. Y'all are years apart from each other. And that's your sister. Y'all need to chill out. They don't even argue often. But if they do, mine is mediating and settling the score. Like, we're not going to do this. Y'all years apart. It ain't even worth arguing, because y'all, that's a tiny kid and you're a teenager. But if that was my 8-year-old, I'm not walking up to no teenagers. I'm not. Because I know my kids.
Right.
And that's one thing that, the school principals and everybody know. I would tell my kids, I'm going to advocate for them. But in their face, I say, I know you did it. Be quiet.
Right.
And as a parent, you know your children. And I know she knew her child said that.
Right. Now, let's just talk a little bit about the discourse that has happened online. You've seen the discourse. So has your daughter. So has the other children that was there. What are kind of like your thoughts about everything you've kind of heard online? I know you said you kind of scrolled past the video when you seen it, but just around the conversation, whether it's about how your daughter conducted herself or just even the other children. Do you want to talk about any of that?
So I do want to say that, again, thank everybody for the support. I raised my children how I would have wanted to be raised as a kid, because I was the child that my child is, the child that started petitions in school, the child that got elected for a class representative. I wasn't even in school, but that's because I'm the kind that's going to stand up for what's right, and I have always taught my children that. They were homeschooled when we were in Mobile. And they went to public school here because I started working when I got here. Publicly working. And I have always raised them to stand up for what's right. So anybody that's saying, oh, she's a child, she should stay in a child's place, she was in a child's place. When mama is not there, I have also taught my children to stand up for themselves. You advocate for yourself until mama can get there and take over. My children don't owe anybody respect that does not respect them. I respect them. I ask them, can I hug them? I ask them, hey, can I? I knock on their doors. Unless they're in there fighting, I'm knocking on their, hey, you guys all right? So I respect my children as if I would want to be respected. I don't treat them like they're not human. And I think that's what a lot of parents that are saying, oh, she need to stay in a child. You don't look at your child as a human. You think they're a child that you can control, not realizing that they are a whole life. They only kids for a moment, but they're going to remember how you treated them for life.
Yes.
So I raised them like that. And if you don't give them respect, they don't give you respect. Now, they ain't going to come and just cuss you out and then but they don't have to deal with you. So anybody that's saying that, I don't care how you feel. I didn't raise my children to be doormats. They will never be somebody's doormat. So if that's how you want to raise your children, that's fine, but that's not how I raise mine. So that's the end of that. So whoever can feel however they want to feel about it. I don't care. There are people I have completely just deleted their comments because they're threatening to fight my child.
You've been receiving threats from adults
on Facebook from adults. Oh, I would have did this and that to that child. And I'm just like, but you would have a thing if somebody did it to yours. Why are you threatening a child? That's done nothing to you. And it ain't just that parent that did that to my child that feel like that. It's a lot of parents in America that feel like they have the right to put their hands on children, period. Not just their own children, but somebody else's child. And you want to use spare the rod, spoil the child, and blah, blah, blah. No. I'm going to need y'all to go do some apologetics and realize if you're going to believe the Bible and what it says, you need to understand fully and completely.
Right.
Don't just spew out scripture to justify you beating a child. No. Don't do that. But then also don't threaten mine. Because she got a mama, she got a daddy, and she got a whole two sides of a family. Huge families. So please don't think she by herself. She got an army behind her. But I just have to delete and keep going. But when it comes to the babies that were on the video, and I'm going to call them babies, I call all of them babies. I want to personally ask that everybody stop saying, oh, those aren't your friends. She need to get them friends. That child in the black, those are kids. And just like I don't want nobody else to tear down my baby, I don't want those babies torn down either. They can see the comments. I've talked to a few of them. One has texted me. And I'll say those children have more integrity than most adults I know. And I understand why. They didn't have to explain to me why they reacted, why they did. But they did. And I understand it. And as adults, we don't even 100% know how we'll act in a situation. Everybody's saying, oh, I would have did this, I would have. You don't know until you're in that situation what you're going to do. Because our bodies go into fight or flight mode. My baby was in fight mode because she was the one that was threatened. Those other babies, they were in flight mode because they didn't know how to deal with that. They've never dealt with anything like that. So all they knew how to do was kind of be uncomfortable and run away. They didn't run far. They didn't even leave her completely. But they backed up because of the aggression and the hostility of the moment. They didn't know how to deal with it. And I cannot fault those kids. I can't. Because I don't know how I'm going to react as an adult in a situation. So I can't expect a 12, 13-year-old whose frontal cortex is not even developed fully. I can't expect them to react how I would want them to react. They're kids.
Right.
The same way that woman should have thought about, this is a child sitting on this table that I'm interacting with. I need everybody else to step back and think. If you got kids or if you got nieces, nephews, cousins that age, would you want somebody attacking them online? And I didn't even think about those children in the video when I posted that. I didn't even think that kind of response would come. And I feel bad because I didn't think about that, because I just wanted to find that lady. But can I ask y'all to please stop attacking those kids? Because while we're supporting my child and everybody is behind her, those babies are being torn down, and I don't like it.
Now, you can choose to pass on the questions, and you don't have to name anybody specific, but what has been kind of like the sentiments of maybe like one of the two or of the children that you've talked to that have seen the conversation and the discourse online, especially pertaining maybe to not your daughter, but just towards the friends?
They apologized for leaving her. And they said they should have stayed. And they said that they're glad the video was taken because people needed to see what that woman did to my child. They said the comments made them look back and say, I shouldn't have left my friend. But also that they did not know how to react in that moment. And that's why I say integrity. That's integrity. And you can't buy that. That child is being raised right.
Right. So it sounds like they reflected on the they reflected on the moment, and just kind of thought and came to their own decision about how they should have handled the situation. But again, they are babies, right? And that is might be a new situation for them that was very uncomfortable, that they did not know how to handle. I've always said that the boy in the red shirt, you could see his visible discomfort. You could see it. It's almost like he froze and he was just like shallow breathing, that he was so uncomfortable.
Yep. So just imagine, all of the kids are going to have different reactions because all adults have different reactions. So you can't paint how you would want those children to behave. And I also cannot dictate who my daughter is friends with either. My daughter has always had a diverse friend group here, and she's going to continue to have a diverse friend group. That's why we moved where we moved. I didn't know Frisco was what it was when we moved here. I just fell in love with the area.
Well, hold on. We're gonna pause on that because I do have a question about that without us getting too far into that. So I just kind of want to make sure that we've all heard what she said, and not only just hear what she said, but take her message back out into the world, because I believe that if these children did not truly understand how they could have reacted in that situation, this is a learning opportunity for them. And I feel like it's these kind of moments where either allies are built or villains are made. Like I feel like we as adults have this duty and this obligation to help to guide these children through these types of situations and letting them understand for themselves, so that when these types of things arise again, they know how to react, not because somebody has told them how to react, but because they've made their own resolve that, what, if this were to ever happen again, I will never leave my friend, because this is a it's just a learning opportunity for them. Now, there was something I was going to ask you about, which was kind of pertaining to the video, and then we're going to go into the Frisco piece. During the incident, when the kids were around and stuff, everybody was wondering, okay, this is all about an 8-year-old. Where is the 8-year-old? So did the 8-year-old disappear? Was he around?
He was there. He was just not in the video.
Okay. So he was there. I
don't know exactly 100% where he was. I just know he was there.
Okay. So he was there, but he didn't, after that, he didn't really say too much of anything else to the bigger kids. It was
his mom. He was trying to tell his mom, though, that he said something to them, but she wouldn't listen to him.
So the 8-year-old boy was trying to tell his mom that he had said something to them, but she didn't listen. So it sounds like she kind of did what she did to the girl that was in the black hoodie when she kept saying, ma'am, and she kind of put her hands up and she redirected right back towards your daughter.
Yeah. To me, and Anybody can feel how they want to feel. It was purely driven off of my daughter being a black child. They don't look at our children as children. They adultify our children because she immediately stepped in her face. But also my child is going to stand her ground too. And I don't think she was prepared for that.
I don't think she was prepared for that either. Now, we can go back into the Frisco piece. So you're from Mobile, Alabama. You know, you don't have to go into anything personal, but what made you all move to Frisco?
Yeah, I'm not going to share my past because I'm still dealing with that, and right now I don't want to. But we did move for a change. We wanted our kids to grow up somewhere different, be exposed to different things, different cultures, different people. Back home, I was exposed to that. I still have very good friends to this day because I went to prep school, so I was like in a bubble inside of segregated Mobile. But inside of my bubble, I had teachers that were of all race, all religion. I had friends that were of all race, all religion. I didn't go to an all-black school until I got in high school. And that was by choice because I wanted to be a cheerleader at that school. But I wanted my babies to grow up in that diversity that Mobile just doesn't provide because it's so segregated, still very segregated. And we came to Dallas to visit. We had a few places on our list to pick, and we came to Dallas, and one of my ex-husband's family members brought us to Frisco, and we just fell in love with the area. Didn't know anything about it, just it felt like home. And that's why we moved here.
And if y'all have never been to Frisco, I've been to Frisco. It's a beautiful city, right? The buildings are nice, the houses are nice, the roads are nice, the Chick-fil-A's are nice. When I went to visit, I went to the courthouse because y'all know I've been covering the Carmelo Anthony case. I went to the courthouse, got on the elevator, and there was these two guys. I don't know, they look like some fancy cowboys. They had on a cowboy hat, they had on a straight leg jeans, or the jeans with the boots and the belt buckle and a blazer, smelling like money, looking like money, and they were, with their little rich laugh. And one of the things that they shared with me was that I guess Collin County, Collin County is like one of the richest counties in Texas. I guess he was like with sales tax receipts or something like that. So it's a very well-to-do kind of place. Now, one of the things that you shared was that about, feeling like she, just kind of approached her in the way that she did because your daughter was black. And I can honestly say that it happens a lot more than what people actually want to admit to. And I don't know if you want to share it, but you shared a story with me about kind of like one of your kind of first major instances with racism inside of the school system with the one principal. Do you want to share that story, or would you prefer not to?
I'll share it because it was with the same child. And that's why I say she has always been my child. That's her. She's going to stand up for herself. And I've had to teach her to be that way so that y'all can see why she's like she is. When she was in first grade, when we first moved here, she was in a classroom. And we were on another side of Frisco where it's not as much diversity inside of the classroom as it is on the side that we live in now. And she was one of two black kids in the class. And there was a group of 3 young white boys that would bully her. They would pick with her. They would push her. She would come home. She would tell me I would write an email. She'd come home. She would tell me I'd write an email. Well, it got to a point she came home crying, and her brother, her big brother, the one that's right over her, he was livid. He was ready to light into somebody because he gonna protect her. They're very, very close. And I told her, I said, you're not a punching bag. I said, if somebody put their hands on you, again, you handle it and I'll deal with it when I get there. So I got a call one day from the school, and I used to work for the school, and I was at work when I got the call. And the principal said, I just want to remind you to tell your child to keep her hands to herself. I said, oh, no. This is not what's going to happen. So that day, my baby, they had kicked a chair out of her hand. That's the day she came home crying. She was putting her chair up from center time, and one of them kicked the chair out of her hand, and they were pushing her. And that was the last straw for me. And when the principal called that day, one of her friends had asked her to come to the front of the line with her, and the little boys didn't like that. So they all ganged around her, all three of them, and they were pushing and shoving and kicking her, and she lit all three of them up.
So she handled all three of them?
Yes.
And then
the principal called me.
And you get a call from the principal giving you a reminder to tell
my child to keep her hands to herself, but she had been being picked on for weeks, and nothing was done. Absolutely nothing was done. I didn't get a call. And their schools, you can't just go up to the school unannounced. You can't go up to the school and talk to the teachers unannounced. You can get in, but the doors are locked. Their schools are locked from the outside. You cannot get in. Not used to that. You know, I love it because of the safety, but not used to not being able to just walk up to the school. But I told her, I said, I want to speak to every last one of their parents. And I want to know where they get this from. Because not only had they been picking on my child, they picked on the other little black boy in the class. And they told him, we don't like brown. We only like white.
Wow.
I've got, and this is where I say my child has been how she's been forever. My baby girl is the same. She's the same way her big sister is. The teacher had sent me an email and said, you know, I just want to recognize Raylan. You know, the little black boy, he had been feeling sad, and she took him out, and they walked around because they have little pods inside their school where the kids are literally contained inside their own little grade. So they get to walk outside their classrooms and run around if they want to and go back inside their class. Like, it is literally like a dystopian area. You know, kids walking to school, riding go-karts to school, riding little Jeeps and cars. When I first saw that, I was like, I ain't never seen nothing like this. Because back home, you can't leave a bike outside, baby. That bike is not going to be there when you get back.
It's going to be gone.
It's going to be gone.
They might take you off of it and take it.
Listen, all of the little kids, they riding powered scooters to school. It's like a little dystopian area. And it almost make you forget about the danger that America is, not just to children, but especially to black children. And I just loved that. And so she was like, Raylan just took him, you know, and he was feeling bad. But I found out that day he was feeling bad because the little boys told him they wasn't going to play with him because he was black.
Mm.
The parents would not talk to me. But I wanted to talk to the principal, and I let her know if they ever put their hands on her again, the same thing is going to happen, and you're not going to do anything. Because I've told y'all that those children were bullying my kids.
And what's interesting is that, you know, other than your paper trail, there was no paper trail likely done on any of these kids to know or to be able to track this type of behavior on them as they matriculated through school. So not only does it goes unchecked at the school, but they're learning it somewhere. They're learning it at home, right? And if your daughter, like that grade that she was in, that was not that many grades ago. So I would say it would be interesting to know if these boys who likely still live in the Frisco area continue to grow up and have that same mindset of, you know, we're going to kick chairs out of women's hand and we're not going to deal with this person because they're brown and we're going to, you know, try to bully up on this kid because they're black.
I I would hope that interactions with children like my kids would change them. I just had a conversation with one of my very good friends who I consider family. I've been friends with her since I was in kindergarten, and she's white. And she told me that the diversity in our school is what built her to be the person she is, because she is the kind of friend that will stand when they say put yourself on the front line for a black person. That's her.
Right.
Stand when they won't. That's her. That's the kind of friend she has. And no matter the distance, no matter the time, she has always been that person. Even in elementary school, watching my parents picket the school because they tried to run a black uniform shop out of Mobile that sold our school uniforms, just because they were campaigning for a Democratic. I can't even think what it was, what they were running for, but it was a Democrat, and they didn't like it. The people at the school didn't like it, so they tried to gang up on the people. I watched her mom picket the school with my mama. So she's that kind of person. And that's why I think, too, with those kids, you see it in action, and you become what you see. Like you say, we're either creating villains or we're creating allies. And that's why I want those children left alone, because I don't want them to think I can't be an ally. They need to know the reality of the climate, of the culture and the world that we live in, and how dangerous it can be for black children, period. Our kids aren't seen as kids.
Yes, and that's a conversation that we had on the live stream earlier this week, was the adultification of black children, and how children as young as the age of 8 are often perceived by other races as expecting to be more mature, and are seen as more hostile and aggressive and things like that. So it's real, and it's an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people want to gloss over and gloss around, but there's research out there that supports this.
Mm-hmm.
There's like scholarly research that supports these things. And so the last question, because I want to be mindful of your time, is what advice do you have to parents who may be having to deal with, situations where the things that are perpetuated against them are racially motivated, or may have something to do simply because of their race? So whether that's, an aggressive adult, or, within the school system, like, what would you want to leave parents with?
Don't rest. Do not let them do it, because if you let them, they're going to. It doesn't matter if you look like the angriest black woman, black man, unrational. And if it takes you having to get the law on your side, hire a lawyer. Do what you have to do. But it's as much as you can, don't rest. And that's me. I do not rest. If it's something that I feel like has been done against my child and is racially motivated, my daughter ain't the only person that I done dealt with in the racism inside of the school system in Frisco.
Really?
She's not. No, she's not. So, and they know me. Let the school know who you are. Let them see your face. I volunteer. I'm on the volunteer list. I don't work for the school anymore, but I show up at the field trips. I show up at the events if I can, if I'm not working. Make yourself known and let them know that those children are not to be messed with. And honestly, extend it beyond that, because there are some kids whose parents can't be there. Because we know the system that America is, the rat race that we live in, where parents are working on end 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and they can't make it to the school. I've had black parents stop and advocate for my kids and wait till I get there. And that be the village that we say we need. Not just for your kids, but for somebody else's. And I know that's done for me because I do it for other people's kids. But don't rest. We might be tired of fighting, but the fight doesn't end.
Right. And thank you for that. The people in the chat, did y'all enjoy this interview? That is the end of the interview, and now Krystal is going to take some questions from the audience. Stick around and listen because she does share some pretty interesting things. If you want to support this family, here's how you do so. Let's get into the Q&A. I know that, we have approached the hour mark, but I know that there's a couple people that really just want to share kind words with you. Is that okay if I pull them up on the panel? And are you open to questions or would you prefer not? They know no legal stuff and no stuff about the incident pertaining to the daughter outside of what we already spoke about.
Yes, I'm okay with it.
Okay, so all right, Miss Mika, come up. I'm gonna start bringing people up. I want the guest. I'm so sorry. I can't remember your name. I think it's Maisie. If you're still in here, please request up. So the other person from TikTok. Oh, okay, I got her. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna send you an invite, Maisie. I want you to come up, Miss Mika. Uh, uh, hey, did I say your name right?
On here, it's Maisie Gray.
Maisie Gray. Okay, Krystal. We have Maisie Gray here. Did you have anything that you wanted to say to Miss Krystal or ask her? Because she did, she has been talking about your daughter's story, so I did want to give her the opportunity to speak with you as well as Miss Mika. So, Maisie, I'm gonna give you the floor first, and then we'll go to Miss Mika. Anybody else that wants to come up, go ahead and send the request, y'all.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say that you are doing a phenomenal job at raising your daughter. I've gotten so many comments, and everybody's just so proud of how she conducted herself. One of the main questions that I got was, what is your parenting style? Like, what do you think you've done different to empower her to be able to speak up and advocate herself that maybe some other people, just don't know how to do?
So I, as a parent, I'm still a black mama, so I have my black mama moments. Now you better clean this room up because you working my nerves. I asked you 10 times moments, but I allow them to question. I've always told them to question authority, mine, yours, and anybody else's. Mm-hmm. If they feel like what I did isn't right, my kids will tell me. If they feel like it was unfair and I didn't hear them, they're going to come back and say, well, Mama, it may be a heated moment and then the moment comes down and they come back, Mama, I'm sorry. I said this, I did this, but also this is what I was trying to tell you. And I feel like, and after I done calm down, because it doesn't always go smooth and calm. Anybody that has kids know that. I'll say, well, I'm sorry I didn't hear you. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. And, I give them the opportunity to advocate for themselves to me. That's why they're able to do it to other people, because they are going to come tell me when they feel like I'm wrong. Me and their dad have raised them like that. They have amazing grandparents. They just have amazing people in their lives altogether. But my children are outside of the norm, probably, of how some people raise their kids. And I'm okay with that because I know that I'm sending them into the world equipped to be able to handle themselves if I'm not there. That they're not going to cower away and allow somebody to erode their personal boundaries or take away their rights, if they're not, I don't want to raise kids that people can walk all over. And that includes me. They're not just my children. I'm holding them for a moment to raise them for a lifetime. And in the moment that they're in my home, I want to make sure that they're equipped, not just to be able to cook and clean and whatever the case may be, but mentally equipped as well, emotionally inept as well. And as a parent, I have been in therapy before. I'm back in therapy now. There are things that I've unlearned about my childhood, that how I was raised and how my mom was raised and and we know that because we know the effects of what enslavement and Jim Crow and all that did on some of our parents who continued to perpetuate how they were raised and how they were treated. And I think as a group, millennials at large, we're saying we're breaking this cycle. And that's what I've decided to do, is break that cycle with my children. So I raised them to advocate for themselves. I raised them to stand up for themselves, even if it's your own mama and you don't like what she did and you think she's going to be upset. I might be upset. I might not want to hear it, but you still say it. And they do.
That is amazing. You are really doing just a wonderful job with raising your kids. I loved how in the beginning you said that you were raising your kids to be emotionally intelligent, and that is something that you rarely find even in adults nowadays.
Yes, you do. I have to say that as I've grown, because I had my first child when I was 19, I got married when I was 18. As I've grown as an adult, my patience and also my emotional intelligence has grown. So my 7-year-old is light years ahead of where my kids were, my older kids were at her age, because mama didn't know what to do. I was a kid myself having kids. So, and I talked to them about that. I don't want them to get married young like I did. I don't want them to have kids. If they never have kids, I'm okay with that because I know the world we live in. But as parents, we also can't stay stagnant. We got to keep growing just like they growing. We got to keep learning just like they learning. We have to evolve just like they're evolving. You cannot stay the same as a parent because they're not staying the same. They're going to go through phases in life that you've never dealt with because you're not them. You may have been their age, but you're not them. So you still have to, I got to evolve for every last one of them. I got 4 different kids. I got to learn how to parent every last one of them are different. I can't parent one like I parent the other, like I parent that one and that one. So as a parent myself, I too have to continue to grow. And I'm always learning something different, reading something different about children and their development. I have friends. I have an amazing friend who's a child psychiatrist. She's always my go-to source to learn. And shout out to Krystal. I love her. She is an amazing psychiatrist. And I learned from her. I learned from people around me who know more than I do because I don't know everything as a parent. And we think just because we're parents, we can't learn from people who don't have kids or who don't have 4 kids. They only got 1. Yes, you can. You can learn a lot from people if you allow them to teach you. Mm-hmm. So I think as parents, we have to continue to grow as well.
I agree. Well, that was just in itself a lot, just enlightening for a lot of people I know, because some people do think that, once you turn a certain age or once you've had 1 kid, there's really no more to learn. And obviously that's not true.
Absolutely. Now I can tell you the first child was easy. The second, like they say, that be the no limit soldier. My second is my no limit soldier.
About it.
All day and have been since the moment he came out. And he showed me every chance he get. I love him. He's the sweetest kid. And like I said, I know my kids. So I know what they're capable of. But I also know I have good kids as well. But that second one, he threw me for a loop. I was like, wait, he not gonna be like this one? This one's calm. This was not. So, and then my girls, they are me times 10. They give me back a lot. Sometimes I just have to shake my head and laugh and be like, Lord, I know I drove my mama crazy because they driving me crazy. But they give me back. I love it because I get to see little me's running around, but it can drive you crazy too.
Mm-hmm. And then my last question is just that you said that you did not grow up. I was born and raised here, and it seems like your background may have just kind of attributed to your different way of handling things. From somebody coming from somebody who was born and raised here, and I have kids here. It really opened my eyes to, just see how different things can be in this area.
Are you in Texas? You're in Frisco?
Yeah, I'm in McKinney, so it's right by Frisco.
Yeah, okay. She's right by me. Yeah.
And it's kind of like, here we kind of go along to get along a lot of the time, just to kind of keep the peace, especially when you move to more affluent areas. You can get a lot of pushback from the locals, should I say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now that just watching you is definitely inspiring, and just made me go talk to my kids and let them know that, hey, we might have to change some things up. You got to get a little, into it now. So yeah, I'll definitely be working on them with that because of you and because of that video that you put out. I know you said you kind of felt bad about putting it out earlier because you didn't even realize that the other kids were in it. And so, yeah, that may be one, not so great thing that came from it, but so many more good things came from you sharing that video.
Well, thank you. Where I'm from, you got to stand up for yourself or you're going to get ran over. So that's just how I am. Like I said, I was a kid that would start literal petitions in school. My mom had to come pick me up. They couldn't suspend me because that's not right. But they come get her. Come get her.
They come get your child.
Get your child. Because here I am starting a petition. Because they took away our hooded jackets in school, and that's not fair. Like, I've always been that child. But my mom also, too, is a very strong woman. And I hate saying that word because I tell people all the time, I don't want to be strong, but I have no choice but to be. Yeah. I want to be able to be soft and not have to deal with the woes of what comes with being a Black woman in America. But that's what I was born as, and you can pay me to be nothing else. Every lifetime, I want to come back as a Black woman. And if I got to fight every lifetime, I'm going to fight every lifetime.
Every time.
Every time. Well, thank you so much, Maisie, for your questions. You can just hang out on the panel because after we end with Krystal, I'm just going to leave the panel up and we're just going to chit chat, have a little after bar after the interview. So, Miss Mika.
Hey, Krystal. I just want to say, from a mother that has raised children, you are definitely doing the right thing. I'm very proud of your daughter. I told them the other day that looking at your daughter was me at 13. The only difference is I would have drugged that lady. I'm so glad that she stood up for herself, and she definitely showed her friends that they need to stand up for themselves as well. Those ladies are wrong. What can we do for you?
I don't know. Honestly, like I said, I did not expect any of this. I have had people send my baby cash apps, and that's all hers. She going to do whatever she want to do with it. I've had people ask me to start a GoFundMe for her. I wouldn't do it because I didn't want anybody to feel like, oh, you're exploiting it. But I asked her, and she said, okay, you can do it, Mom. Me, I don't want anything. I'm okay. And that's how I've always been when it comes to my kids. I love the support that my baby has gotten. Like I said, I want everybody to leave the other babies alone. For me personally, there's nothing that I want. There's nothing that you guys can do for me that ain't already been done because y'all support my baby. Okay. That's what's important to me, because she went through something that no child should have to go through. To feel ganged up on by two adults and you don't know which way it's going to go. I just think about Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice. I think about all these kids that have lost their lives, and Michael Brown, you know.
Yeah.
Y'all, you I'm trying. I said I wasn't going to cry, but just thinking about all those parents who have lost their children because of the racism in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What is real quick? What is her? Can you share her Cash App and somebody can drop it in the comments for me? And
she doesn't have one, but I do. And that's because she has Apple Pay, and I cannot give her number out. And that's how.
True.
Apple Pay her.
Okay, hold on, because these people out here be doxing. So can you set up a Cash App that would be specific, just, outside of you and your personal stuff? Because they're weird on TikTok.
I don't even know what do you mean? What would I need to do? Because this is
because she has her cash. She has a cash tag. Can she just drop the cash tag and not her number?
And I think she said don't, because the cash tag is linked to my number.
Yeah, and they'll be they weird on this app.
Maybe we can. Okay, so you know what? Maybe she could do. Maybe you could have her create like an Amazon wish list. What do y'all think about that?
That'll be good.
Okay.
So, I can do that, or if the GoFundMe is the way to go to avoid that, I didn't even think about it. I just gave people my Cash App, and I told her, "Hey, you got this much money," and I Apple Pay it to her. I could do either or. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's enough stuff in her head to even probably put on the Amazon wish list. I don't know. Ain't no telling. I don't know.
So quick chat, which one do y'all think? Should she do the Amazon wish list, or should she just do the GoFundMe?
Somebody said a Google number, so set up a Google number for the Cash App, and that'll keep people
you can do that, or a text now number.
You can set up a Cash App with a Google number?
They operate like actual phone numbers. Text now, the app also lets you do that. And as long as you use the number, you get to keep the number without paying. Send a few texts out a week.
I actually have a Google number, so.
Okay, so when you try it, when you put it together, whatever you decide, just message me tomorrow. I'll pass it to Maisie and everybody else, and I'll just do a video to let everybody know just how they can pour love into your daughter and contribute. But I'm sorry to interrupt you, Miss Mika, so I'm going to give you back the floor.
No, it's all good. Just know that there's some prayer warriors out here, and I'm one of them. I know what it is to be a mom and be strong outside and go in your room and just let loose. So you just continue to keep the strength that God has given you. I did hear you say you want to be soft, but some of us, we just probably ain't gonna get that, right? So take your time, do what you need to do. But I just want to say, from me to you, you are doing an amazing job raising your baby. When I seen her, I was saluting, and those people better be happy I wasn't out there. They better be happy. So Miss Mika was not out there.
I wouldn't see another adult accosting a child like that. I'm immediately going out, and that's why I say I am to people what I do unto others. Yeah, that I would have them doing to me, and that includes their children.
Yeah.
So.
We'll just keep. We'll keep up with Janina and Maisie and figure out what all we can do for you. Once you get that information, let us know, and we're definitely gonna pour into you. Just know you have entered into a great big TikTok community. We are supporting Carmelo Anthony right there in Frisco, Texas. A lot of us will be there June 1st because we are not playing when it comes to our children.
Correct. I'm the same way.
Okay, so we're gonna continue to go down the line, but for those of you that just came in, we actually just wrapped up the interview with Krystal. She is the mother of the 13-year-old that you see here in this photo that was pretty much accosted by this woman at a park in Frisco, Texas. She just gave us a lot of insight about the situation as much as she could, how she was feeling about everything, and just kind of what's been going on. So if you missed it, y'all want to know what has happened to the lady. She has not been arrested. It is said that she was charged with assault and uh, that the prosecutor and the victim's advocate was supposed to reach out to her. No one has reached out to her. She doesn't have an incident number. She doesn't have a police report number. She doesn't know if this lady goes to court and when she goes to court. Nobody has contacted her. So that is where we are with this. I shared that I put in a public information request, one at Frisco Police Department. I'm going to do another one with Collin County, as well as doing some follow up myself to see like what is going on with this situation. So for those of you that want to know, I don't know, we got to give her a name. Ballpark Susan. I don't know. We got to give her a name, y'all. She's still out, roaming around Frisco, and we don't necessarily know if and what is going to happen in the legal process in regards to this. So that is where we are. So we're going to go, Prophet. We're going to get to you in just a second, but I just kind of want to go in order. So, no, Just, you can come off of mute. How are you?
What's up, Jimmy? How you doing?
I'm
Y'all can
well.
hear me? Y'all can hear me? Good.
No, you kind of sound a little, it sounds muffled.
My fault. Go to Chirac, and then I'll be ready by the time when Chirac get done. I got a name for them though. I'm gonna tell you. But go to Chirac and then come back to me.
Okay. Chirac. Okay, hopefully she ain't no fell asleep on the panel. So we'll jump to Prophet. Go ahead and come off of mute. Somebody said Karen Van.
I just wanted to say this. I grew up in a predominantly YT community as well on the East Coast. And I can think of so many situations growing up where I knew something was wrong, but I didn't have the courage to have a voice. You and your daughter are a light to so many people in our community that feel the same way, who feel choked, who feel that frog in their throat at the guise of white supremacy. Just by existing and teaching her to be strong, you give courage to others. And I want you to take that away from this. I really do. That you are not just someone who is a good mother, but by standing on business, you are an inspiration.
Thank you. I honestly, again, I can't say that I ever expected any of this to happen. Honestly, I was pissed because I'm like, why my child? But hey, I guess that's how I was built. When the opportunity is there, and the moment was there, it's just who I am and what it is. And I'm just grateful that I was able to raise my child to be able to stand up for herself. I've raised all of them to be like that. My oldest is quiet, but he has the same bite too. Y'all would they night and day, moon and sun, but mess with him and see what happens.
Yes.
So, yeah.
A Royal, you can come off of mute.
Hey, Queen Janina.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
We're doing well.
That's good. Yeah. I just wanted to say you are an amazing woman and mother. I can't even imagine what you're going through right now. I'm a father, parent myself. So, God is definitely with you and your family. I mean, thank God that, this was recorded, and, also that, you were where you were at the time too, because I personally feel if you were there, things could have gotten worse. Right. So, and, there's already, so much going on in the world today where, people tend to ask questions later and point the finger first. So yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen. But I had a question for you actually. I just wanted to know like how your daughter's doing, and also like has she ever experienced, you know, any type of, you know, situation like this before, like whether it be, you know, microaggressions or, you know, like racial bias at school or wherever it may be.
She's doing okay as she can be. Like I said, it's a lot. She's expressed, you know, how overwhelming it is just dealing with all of it. Including her, she's a kid. She's on TikTok. She can see the comments, you know. So it's a lot. But kids are resilient, and I don't, like I said, I don't like using that, but we also do know they will keep going. Even when sometimes adults feel like we gonna just give up. Then you look at a child, you're like, you still going? Okay. So that's her. But yes, she has dealt with racism inside of the school system in Frisco before.
Wow.
Yeah. And she was young when it happened. We went
She
through
was
that.
7.
She was 7, and basically some kids was bullying her inside of her classroom and was kicking her chair, and 3 of them tried to gang up on her, and she stood on business. John Effect, if you want to come back up, because it was your turn. But yeah, Royal, the baby has experienced it inside of Frisco from young.
That's just unacceptable, you know. Wow. Yeah, children should come first, and you know, regardless of, you know, that should be the main thing here, you know, child safety. And you know, it's truly disappointing that our children have to, you know, deal with this at such a young age. And yeah, I'm truly sorry, and you know, I hope you guys get the justice y'all deserve. Real talk. And I feel like y'all are, you know, this type of thing here where it's, you know, everybody can see it, you know, it won't go unnoticed at all. What legal steps have you know, taken place since then?
She's only been charged, so that's all that I know.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's a good step.
But no real additional information other than that. And she's still waiting for the prosecutor and the victim assistance department to reach out to her, which they have not done so. So we're gonna make sure we're following up, you know, just to make sure that things move along like they're supposed to.
Right. Now, what about her, the other adult that was with her?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. So that's just kind of where she is. But I'll, as she finds out information, and if it can be spoken on, myself and likely Maisie will make sure that we're keeping the public up to date about what's going on.
Absolutely.
So I'll keep you in the loop, Royal. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What's up? Can you hear me better now?
Yes. So we'll go to No Justice, and we'll go to John Effect, Lord, and then Lord Gaga, and then we're gonna let Miss Krystal go, and then we can just continue the conversation amongst ourselves. So go ahead, No Justice, then John Effect, and then Lord Gaga.
All right. So I just want to first off, you know, apologize that the whole situation happened. Your daughter should have never had to experience that, and these 2 adults should be ashamed of themselves. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that you are doing an amazing job with your daughter. You know, you have to teach your kids to stand up for themselves, because if while you're not present, you don't teach that, they never will. The video, I have no words for. I mean, if something happened with kids at a park, I'm not gonna just fly off the handle on another kid because my kid could have very well started it. So if you're gonna go up and talk to a kid, which is something that I would never do, but if you're gonna go up and talk to a child, then you need to talk to the child like they're a child and not like they're adults. So for people saying that the child needs to stay in the child's place, no, the adult should have stayed in their place and talked to the kid like she's a child to try to find out what happened. That's the first thing. But the second thing is that they just out of order. They unhinged, and I totally agree with you. Both of them need to be charged. They need to be took off the street because I'm gonna tell you, you better than me because I would have rolled around until I found them, and it would have been off with their head. You don't first of all, you don't go up and talk to people, kids, like you done lost your mind, let alone putting your hands on them. So I would have been somewhere smiling on a mugshot and with no care in the world. So I want to commend you. I know it was very hard for you to keep your head, but I want to commend you because you had some strength that I wouldn't even have because they would have been doing an investigation, but it would have been like the breaking news at 5. We have a mom snapped because I really would have snapped. You don't put your hands on nobody. This why they still ain't learned. This why we dealing with the case. We dealing with the 2 cases that we dealing with in Texas. Keep your hands to yourself, and definitely she had no right to touch your child. Yeah, I would have drug her.
And honestly, that was divine intervention that lady was not there, because I have not gotten to an altercation with someone in I don't know how long. I don't start stuff with people because I'm not that kind of person, but I will finish it. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Y'all, and I don't know if y'all went to her page, but she a personal trainer. She work out. She got muscles. She got muscles, y'all.
Look, hey, look, I got a name for you. You should title it "Uncivilized Mutts in the Park," because that's what they is. They uncivilized. Like what? I just don't understand why they thought that was okay. You coming up talking about how somebody else was talking to your child, and then you gonna allow somebody else to put their hand in any adult that was in that park that seen that going on. They need to go to. They all uncivilized. They got a problem. But have a good night, man.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, John Effect, Lord Gaga, and then we're gonna let Miss Krystal go. So, John Effect, welcome to the panel.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for coming up. I know you don't be in these TikTok streets a lot, so I'm honored.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me. I just want to say thank you to you for actually, shedding some light to this, right? And so, major shout out to you, to your moms and everyone for putting this thing together, and also for the mom, coming up here and being vulnerable and sharing her story of the unfortunate situation with her daughter. So, you have a good person here on TikTok that's going to be, heading this thing for you and getting this information out here. This is pretty much what it's about, right? And how we get to, get this information out, bring awareness to it. And then one of the things you guys probably hear me say often, I want the judges and I want the DA to know that, people here and that, we see it, what's going on. I want them to hear us and see us and know that we're just not going to let stuff slide by. And so, any way I can support you, let me know. I'll try to support your lives or however I can, and so we can get this information out there. Because for her not to, be or be charged but not arrested is insane to me. So I don't know what it is that you need from us. So for me and my team and other people here, I'll get with you hosts and we'll see what we need, and whatever you need from me, I promise you, I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So again, this incident actually took place. What was the date on that?
February 19th.
The 19th. Okay, that's what I thought. And so she was charged when?
They said that they charged her on that Friday, on the 20th.
On the Friday, okay. And then the 8-year-old kid, of course, he's a Jew. That's really no point. The other lady, the shorter lady, she was not charged. correct?
It was not.
Okay. Okay. Well, Krystal, my prayers are with you, and host, if you need anything from me and whatever it is, I promise you, I'll push as hard as I can, and I'll dive into it and see what we could do for you.
Okay,
All right.
I will
Thank you.
definitely be in contact with you. So thank you so much, John Effect. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Lord Gaga.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to say that, yeah, I agree. What happened was ridiculous. I'd also like to say that between the 38-year-old and the 13-year-old, your daughter was the adult in that situation. She should be very proud of how she handled herself. She stood her ground.
Really proud of her.
She showed tremendous restraint, um, and I'm sure she was scared, you know. But she did really well. And whatever, same thing that John Effect said. Whatever we can do to help you out, we will do. I don't understand why she hasn't been arrested, but at least your daughter's, wasn't injured and not physically anyway, and and she's got a good mom who's got her back. So thank you for having such a good kid.
Thank you. And thank you all. And it's not just me. Like I said, she has a whole army behind her, her dad, her grandparents, her aunts, her uncles. She got a whole, when my family realized that that was her, because I didn't tell anybody. They just saw the video popping up on different
Wow.
pages and they could see her face. And then they came to my page. I had a cousin back home call me, hey, do I need to come to Texas? I
And, uh,
literally,
and that's
she
an
has,
interesting point.
has a huge family on both sides. And I'm just the vocal parent. I'm very active and very vocal about standing up for what's right. So I've always been that way, and I will continue to be that way. And that's why she's like she is.
Go ahead, John.
No, she just said something that I kind of just hit home. I'm sorry for cutting in, but just the reality of it, right? Like we see these different things as Lloyd talked about, Mika. Like we cover like different topics and stuff like that, like Mello and Christopher. But it's you never think it happened to you, and when it does, it hits different. And so when I fight, when we push these things out and we, do things like the host is doing, and sometimes myself or whatever, and this is the reason why we do it, so we could prevent it from happening to other families. Because it's life altering. I mean, whatever, it's a trauma for your daughter, right? And so I wouldn't want that to happen to any other person in their family. And so prevention, like how can we prevent this from happening? Well, we got to hold the people accountable who done wrong, so they can let them know that hey, it's not okay. It's not okay. You can't be doing that. So I'm here with you. I gotta go, but I just wanted to say shout out to the host for doing this. Good job. But yeah, Krystal, again, get with her, get with me. I'll see what we could do.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
All right,
And
thank
so,
you.
okay, bye, John Effect. Can someone drop him down?
I got him.
Okay, and so through all of this, one of the things that I did recognize was that your daughter continued to say "ma'am" throughout the
Yeah.
throughout the entire thing, even as she um was getting to a place where she was probably a lot more scared as things progressed. And so I just want to say that um I think that you're doing a good job, especially teaching your children um, to stand up and speak and um, to use their voice when it matters. And again, I just want to thank you for your time. Just thank you. And you have an army of people here that is ready to support you. John Effects, Miss Mika, Maisie, and just a bunch of wonderful people that want to help to amplify you all's story, to hopefully get you the resolve that you feel is appropriate for what your daughter has gone through. So once you get the cash app, and if she does decide that she wants to do an Amazon list, whatever it is, just send it to me and I'll send it to everybody else so that we can get it out. And so we're approaching that 2 hour mark, and I know your mom, and you probably ain't used to talking like we up, because we'll be up here all night
Yeah, no,
talking.
I can't do that.
And so we appreciate you so much, and I hope you have a great night, and send your daughter all the love, especially from this panel and from social media. Chat, tell Miss Krystal good night. Hearts in the chat for Miss Krystal. Panel, come off mute. Tell Miss
Miss
Krystal good night.
Krystal, we need to know what her daughter's favorite color is.
Good night.
Is she changes it so much. I'm gonna have to ask her, y'all. I think it's blue.
Okay, ask her and let us know, because we represent by colors on this app. So we'll make sure that we get her heart out here.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
for now we'll put blue. So
Yeah, we'll put blue down
heart
here.
in the chat for baby girl. So Miss Krystal, again, thank you, and I will be talking to you on the back end. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Krystal. Good night.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.